Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 3, Episode 58. For all of you in the Midwest, I hope you were safe after last night's storms. Last night's storms extended from Texas all the way to New York, and it was definitely a brutal night. Yesterday when I was out playing, I thought it was a bad storm, and by the time I got home, it seemed like things had settled down and everything was going to be okay. But then later in the evening, we started getting tornado warnings in our area. So there's a difference between a watch and a warning. A watch means the conditions are right for a tornado. A warning means that a tornado has actually been sighted. And in our area, in most of the Midwest, you have basements, and we were in the basement for about an hour and a half before the warning subsided. In our immediate area, there were deaths. There were a lot of homes destroyed. So my prayers go out to anyone affected or their family and friends. Hopefully everybody is okay. Today is probably going to be one of the worst days. If I had to draw up a scenario, this would pretty much be it. It is still storming. I am going to an area that's going to have more severe storms than my area. I have 3 or 4 meetings, and they're spread out in a way that's going to make it very difficult to play, about half an hour to an hour apart. But why not, right? I'm supposed to be working from home today anyway, so I don't have to worry about that part of it. It's just a matter of being in front of the computer at the right time. Last night I caught up on a lot of things that I didn't know I needed to catch up on. I'll have to talk to my manager a little bit about that. But I guess overall everybody is safe in my household and my friends and family, so I'm out for the day. And Sunday night I'm supposed to be in a certain area, and a friend of mine who is in England today, who will be leaving England, is going to be in my area, and I'm just going to have him bring me about 3,000 pounds just to have spending money. And if I decide to go to a casino, I could always get more if I wanted to, but I'm not sure how much casino time I will get in with the entire family being with me. So I'll be meeting him either Sunday or Monday or Tuesday to pick up that cash, and then I'll be on my way to the trip. So right now, leaving home early in the morning. It is a little bit warm. It's about 50 degrees, which is pretty warm for this early, which means there's still a possibility of those conditions of a tornado today. For the first time ever that I recall, because it doesn't happen very often in my area, when I brought up the Weather Channel, it shows me the risk rating for a tornado at this time. So that can't be good. So, all right, letting you go for now and going to the first spot, and then I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, I am back. So I went into this place, and it was, it's been raining a lot lately, and just not a lot of cars outside, about 30 cars outside early in the morning. I go in, and I'm finding plays left and right. They're all small plays, but, they add up after a while. I even left some okay plays I normally would consider, but there were so many good plays it didn't make sense for me to take those risks for no reason. I was in there for about 40 minutes or so, played probably 6 or 7 machines, and ended up ahead $284. Security or whatever were pulling all the money boxes out while I was there. So really wasn't much happening in there, but it was definitely worth the trip to stop. I wanted to discuss, someone asked me online about online casinos, about online blackjack, and I thought that had been pretty much discussed to its death already, but let's go over it again. Online casinos are not a way that you want to go. There's a couple reasons why. If it's totally automated, you're probably not going to have a chance to win. There's so many casinos online that are scams, and I believe Elliot Jacobson audits casinos, and many of them will try to buy his audit because just like pay him outright lots of money just to get his stamp of approval, because people trust him and his ratings. And a lot of them, he said, would not show their code, would not allow him to have full access to stuff, and there's a lot of cheating that goes on. I'm sure you guys have seen it before, where in the old days, for example, you would go on, and that's the last reference I really have, but you'd play $5 a hand and win every hand, and you know, the first 10 hands would be all winners. As soon as you raise your bet, you lose every hand until you're out of money. And that happened with Bodog, which eventually became what's it called now? Starts with a B. Anyway, you know what it is. And you know, that guy, the owner of that company, was a young guy, like 28, 29 years old, and became a billionaire from it, and eventually committed suicide when they were closing in on him. But be careful with that stuff. If you're counting cards online and you're winning, they can keep the funds and even your money that you put in, your deposit money. If they suspect you, lots of times it'll be in their rules. They also usually half shoe you, so you're only playing 3 out of the 6 decks. So by the time you get any kind of count going, you paid rent the whole time waiting for the count to get good, and then the count gets good and the shoe is over. So a lot of reasons not to play online. Plus, in a lot of countries, well, especially the United States, a lot of the online casinos are not legal. So if they keep your money, you have no recourse. So many different reasons why you shouldn't play it. Now, if you are trying to get bonuses and things like that in legal U.S. companies, you want to take that risk, I don't see a problem with that. If you want to get bonuses for offshore ones, and you do want to take the risk because the bonus is so juicy and you can lose 1 out of 5 of them and still be okay, that's fine too, as long as you understand the risk fully. So right now, still raining outside. Moving on to the next casino, I have a meeting starting in an hour, and I am about I don't know, hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes from the next casino. So hopefully by the time the meeting is over, I would just be getting to that casino. Like I said, today there's going to be a lot of meetings with very short breaks between the meetings, so it's not going to be the funnest day. Looking at my calendar right now, I see only a half-hour break between this meeting and the next one, and then an hour break, and then another meeting. So we'll see what happens. So, all right, letting you go for now, and I'll be back to update you soon. All right, guys, I'm back. So I pull into this place. I have already started my meeting, and we end up wrapping up the meeting around 15 minutes after I get to this casino, which is just perfect. I walk in the casino. It's not very crowded. Again, this area was especially hit hard by the storms. Now, again, from yesterday afternoon to this afternoon, I would have covered about a 7-hour stretch. So from one point to another, about 7 hours apart. And that whole area got hit hard. So a big part of the Midwest got hit, and this part was especially hit hard. Barns take, roofs off barns, trees down, flooding, all that stuff. So as soon as I walked in, though, one thing I did see was people checking slots. So I felt a little hopeless at first because I saw, multiple people in there. But I still went through my normal routine, checking all the machines I normally do, and walking up the aisles a certain way, down the aisles a different way, in order to get the most coverage, so I can see the most slot machines. So I walk in one way, I walk out a different way. That way, if there's anything new that got put in, I can see it. I only made a couple small plays, maybe I don't know, 4, small place, but I did okay. One thing, though, is a lot of the machines that we've been so used to playing, are now pretty much going away or not playable anymore. So that's one down thing, is even if you know what you're doing today, if you don't keep up with things, it's going to be tougher and tougher for you. So you have to pay attention, you have to do your studying. I ended up leaving the session ahead $144 plus $144, and right now I am moving on to the next casino. I have not put it in the GPS, although I think by the time I get there will be right around the time that a meeting is going to be starting. So I think I'm going to probably stop somewhere, get something to eat before I get there. Yeah, see, I'll get there 6 minutes before my meeting starts. So it makes sense I'll go as far as I can, get gas, and then get some food, and then just show up right as the meeting is starting. I'd be showing up to the casino. That way I can, maximize my time outside of sitting in the parking lot doing nothing. I'm not really sure what this meeting even is. If I'm lucky, it might be one that's kind of a short meeting. Let me see here as I'm scrolling through. Unprepared to let you know. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, not a big deal. I think it'll probably take the full half hour, but should be pretty easy meeting, and a lot of it will not be me talking, so that's okay. After that meeting is over, I'll have exactly an hour before my next meeting, and it looks like that's going to be it for the day as far as meetings. I need to focus my blackjack playing in that hour and hope that I have good variance in that time so I can leave. If not, I'll be stuck in the parking garage for another hour and have to go back into this casino. Whatever. If I have to, I have to. I'm also checking out other plays in this casino. I'm hoping to see something good in there. So right now, I'm letting you go, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I want to share something that one of our listeners sent me. He says, I was listening to your episode about the guy who got banned for doing the right thing and turning in the $1,002 back to its rightful owner. He says, I had a story about finding money in the casino myself that I thought I would share. I was at a Caesars property and found a money clip full of $100 bills and tried to turn it into security, and they told me to keep it. I refused and I left it with them, and nothing else ever came of it. I'm sure they split it up in the back amongst themselves. What makes it ironic is at the same place, a guy I know found $2 on the floor and picked it up, and they kicked him out of the place. So you definitely get a lot of weird things like that. There was one time when I was at a casino and there was like 70 cents, 50 cents, something in the machine, and I cashed it out, and a security lady saw me and she threatened me that they would kick me out if I kept it, and I'm like, whatever, here's your money. I didn't know at that time, it's mine really if I found it, but do I really want to fight for it over less than $1? It's just not worth it. So anyway, I ran into another person a couple days ago, and she was telling me that she had found some money and tried to turn it into security, and they told her just to keep it, and she said, no, I'm going to turn it in, and it was like a big ordeal for her to turn it in. So it seems like some places don't really care one way or another. They don't want to get involved. Maybe they don't want to do paperwork, and other places really are strict about it, even down to pennies. I talked to another lady also that was telling me similar stories like that as well. She had been playing and saw that there was extra money on her ticket, and she'd been around casinos for a while and didn't know what she should do because she didn't want to make a big deal out of it, and she was fast playing a machine anyway, and wasn't positive that if she won it or not. And she ended up keeping it. And then she heard a story about someone she knew that had left money in that machine, and knowing who the owner was, she gave it back to him, which I'm good with that. If you know who the owner is, I think you've got to give it back. But if you don't know who the owner is, you know, oftentimes, I think I talked about it the other day, I sat at a machine and waited for about 5 minutes. The lady came back and I gave her the money, because I knew either no one was ever coming back for it, or security, you know, and security would keep it, or somebody would realize that they lost the money and they would come back for it. So she was happy to get it back. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop for some food right now and then continue on to the casino. Alright guys, I am walking to my car right now. Halfway through a session, I've got this meeting and I'm getting buried right now. On my first shoe, I was ahead like 450 right away, and then never saw the light of day again. Next couple shoes, I'm just losing, and next thing you know, I'm in like 1,500. I've got $600 left. My table gets crowded. I move over to another table. The other table is like a brand new table for the day. I sit down, me and this other guy sit down together. We start playing, and negative the whole way. First shoe, dealer gets 3 blackjacks in the first 4 hands, gets 7 blackjacks the first half of the shoe, and it just never got any better. 1 second. Next shoe I'm playing, it's all negative. I have a hand out there. I got a 12 against a 4. And a bunch of little cards just came out, but it's still like -4, -5, something like that. So I hit it. We end up winning. All of us would have lost, or both of us would have lost instead of winning. And the dealer's like, wow, this guy counts cards. Next shoe, the count's going up. I'm in for 1,500, then 2,500, then 3,000, then 3,500, then 4,500. I'm putting these big bets out there. I put $1,000 bet out there, get a blackjack. Next hand, I lose 1,000. Next hand, you know, back and forth. And by the end of the shoe, I had $1,000 out. I was going from 50 to 1,000. I had 1,000 out there, and end up getting a 20 against the dealer 18. So I walk with $2,000 of my 5,500 that I bought in for. So definitely not very fun. Now I am back at the car, and I am trying to get into my work computer here for this meeting that I'm already late for. So I'm going to hop on this meeting here right now, and then I'll go back in there and try again. But didn't really get a lot of attention unless security was watching me. But I'll let you know how things go here after my meeting. Gonna hop on this meeting now. All right, guys, I'm adding this later on. I did have a second session, and then eventually moved to another table, and I was in for a total of 7,500, and I had worked that up to 4,200. When I needed to take a break from the table, I was feeling a little bit tired. I wanted to cool off a little bit. I was getting a little excited. So I got up, I walked around, I had 4,200, and then I went back to the tables, and then that's where this part picks up. All right, guys, I'm back. Wow. It's 5.5 hours later. When I talked to you earlier, I don't know how well you could hear it, but I was involved for a total of 7,500, and I had 4,200 in chips. Went back in there after the meeting and got that up to about 6,000. Bopped around that area forever. Didn't have any good shoes, like no shoes where, you know, I could see a big step forward in my, you know, in my chips. I go back to the same table that I was at before. Not going well. I switch tables to another table. There's a young guy there, not too young, like early 30s. Seems like he's doing pretty well for himself. Really nice guy. I hate to see people like that lose money, but unfortunately, the way he's playing, he's going to do worse than me today. He was playing 600 to, well, sometimes he went down lower, so maybe like as low as 200 a hand at the lowest, and at the highest, he would play like, trying to think, probably 1,800. Usually, most of the time, he spent around 1,200 a hand. So just to give you an idea of what we're talking about here. This guy was in for about 20,000 by the time I got to the table, and he was just losing and losing and losing. He went back to the cashier and got 7,000 and like 7,000 or 8,000 more at the end. In his last hand, he was getting 10s and 5s out of his pocket to play, so he had to have been down about $35,000. Dealer was okay. She was okay speed, maybe, not great, but maybe 200 rounds per hour. The guy, though, was playing the side bets, 2 different side bets, and he was playing huge on the side bets. So one side bet he would go 100, the other one he would go 500. Anyway, as far as me, what was happening with me, I bopped around, like I said, around 6,000, 5,000 for a long time. And then I got a couple shoes with some big counts and started raising my bets. When I got back, there was another shoe where bunch of blackjacks for the dealer at the worst time when the bets were high. Overall, was just a slow drain downward. A couple people that I knew came around and talked to me while I was playing. Just other people, though not professional players, ploppies, and talked to them as I was playing, and it was fine. Just the table was really boring, and the few opportunities I had didn't go well. Toward the end, an Indian guy came to the table, and he sat between me and the other guy, and was just horrendous, was playing terribly. He at first was getting lucky and was getting lots of blackjacks, but eventually gave all the money back and ended up leaving with nothing. He probably lost a couple thousand there. For me, the last 4 hands that I played were $500 hands, and lost all 4, and ended the shoe. And at that point, I had to make a decision. I was in for $9,000, and I didn't think I wanted to keep going anymore. I didn't want to get in a situation where I'd have splits and doubles and get stuck. So I went and played some slots, and I was around even most of the time. At one point, I got stuck quite a bit, as much as another 2,300 more at one point, and clawed my way back and ended up leaving ahead $36 on the slots. As far as the blackjack, I ended up down $9,000, spreading from $50 to $1,000, and I only really reached 1,000, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, because although I was at the table total for the day over 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours maybe, I just didn't get opportunities with true 5s or higher very often. There was one I remember toward the end of a shoe where I got a blackjack on $1,000 bet, and then lost the next 3 $1,000 bets after that. And it's just, what are you gonna do? Sometimes you just can't make it work. The thing that hurts even more about it today is this is going to be probably my last or second to last blackjack session that I had before my trip, and I just wiped away almost half my month. So, I hate to see that, but we're going to move on. We're going to recover. We're going to set a new high. Just not today. We're not going to have a new high today. So right now I'm moving on to another casino. I was there for so long, and even slots, I probably played slots for 2 hours. Saw a lot of hustlers there, and I took a couple chances at the end there that I shouldn't have, but they ended up working out. So yeah, that's I've got a million stories, but my brain is just swimming right now. So if I think of them later, maybe I'll add it. But right now I'm moving on to the next casino, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I'm back. I was only in there for about 35 minutes. Sounds like I barely walked in compared to the other place. But it was busy. This place doesn't have a lot of machines to check. And it was hard to find anything to even look at. I made a couple small plays and ended the session. I had $44, but that's all I could do. I did see people that I saw at the other casino over here. They were giving away like a spin and mop thing. First you have to spin, then you can mop. I don't know. It's one of those, you ring out the mops by spinning it. So everybody was here to collect their free gift, which only costs who knows how much. I feel a little bit better. I seem to get over the downswings faster and faster, but I'm learning. I'm getting there. I don't know. Did I really go off the handle in there? I don't think so. I think I kept my cool. I don't think I went on tilt. It's just sometimes it doesn't work. It could be anything, and sometimes no matter what you do, you can't win. So I'm feeling better about it. Right now the sun is down. Driving to the next casino. Tomorrow is going to be a big day for my son. I think I mentioned it in the last podcast. He's going to be on the field at one of the soccer team games, and that's going to be exciting for him. He plays soccer, just a teenager learning how to play and stuff, so I'm excited for him. We have him in a league that's about 9 months long, and it costs a lot. They have to pay a monthly payment to it, and there's some travel, not too much travel, although we have gone a couple hours before. But I'm happy that he's going to get to meet a lot of the players that he sees on TV and stuff, and he should have a good time. He invited a friend of his who goes to our church, so that's real cool too. And this friend attended the remember I told you the teenager weekend thing last week? Yeah, he attended that, and he's been attending the church for a while, and he actually just got baptized last week, which is really neat. So anyway, right now I don't know how far away, 45 more minutes away from the next place, and I'm not expecting to make a lot of money, but I'm expecting just level things off and just start chipping away, and everything will be fine long term. I have considered going back to the casino that I left before I went to this one, but I don't think that would be a good idea right now. I don't want to be over a CTR limit and then start having issues with these guys, so I'm going to let it go, and I'll get them another day. This was actually my second best paying location last year, so I made the second most money at this place as anywhere last year. So anyway, gonna let you go, and I'll be back. Alright guys, I'm back. So I went to the next place, and this place was packed, bumper to bumper, completely packed in there. So many people in there. Was just not easy to get around and find things, but I hunted and hunted and hunted and played a couple small plays here and there, and I was in there for an hour or so, and was just bumping along around zero the whole time. And I saw a lot of people in there, a lot of people that I know in there, and talked to some people that call themselves advantage players, and they tell me about all this money they lose after they win. They go blow it on all this stuff. It's so ridiculous. I mean, I had a bad day today, but for the week I'm down like 4,000. I mean, that after losing 9, these guys, they'll blow 10 or 15,000 like it's nothing, and they don't even care. They just They live like bums. They're just hanging out all the time. They do nothing else, and they don't have any kind of quality of life, and I don't understand some of these people. So anyway, like I said, ended the session. I had $63, and I'm moving on to another place. This one, not one of my favorites. I either make nothing or I make like 500 at this place. So let's see what we can do. See if we can chip away at the deficit, and we still have tomorrow night as a possibility to make money, which is Saturday night, and Sunday night as a possibility to make money still. So we'll chip away at it, and I'll be back to update you after this next stop. Alright guys, I am back. Not really liking casinos right now. Another packed house in there. Couple things in there. I walk in, start looking at machines, see a couple familiar people. I already knew they were going to be there anyway, but I was already in the area, so I went through the motions at least. At one point when I was walking around, I saw a machine that had $63 in it. And this is what I was talking about before. I don't know if it was this episode or the one before. If I can figure out who owns that money, I will give it to them. In this case, there was no card in there. There was $63 in the machine. But there was a clue as to who owned that money. And that clue is a jackpot had just been paid for $3,600. So when a jackpot is paid, it's on the record. So I pushed the service button, and a guy was walking by. He wasn't coming to help me, but he was going to help someone else, and I stopped him. And he said, "Oh, wait, I'll be right back, sir. Hold on." And I said, "No, you hold on a second. I got something to give you." And I gave it to him, and I said, "Someone just won a jackpot here. You can figure out who it is, right? This is their voucher. Make sure you give it to them." He said, "No problem. I'll take care of it." And he started calling right away to find the owner of that money. So that's what I'm saying is, if there's no way to tell whose it is, and there's a $20 bill in the middle of the street, and there's no one around, I'm not taking that $20 bill to the police station. I'm going to pick it up and put it in my pocket. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But in this case, obviously, there was a way to figure out who owned it. I had $5 in free food, so I was very excited to have a nice big meal. So today was actually a pretty good eating day. This morning I had some fast food, and then I had some General Tso's chicken extra spicy early evening. And at this place, I was able to get a couple slices of pizza. Funny offer that they had at this place. They had a rib special. Yeah, now, it doesn't say a ribs special. It says a rib special. I mean, because it was almost one rib. It's two ribs. So they got this, picture this image here. So they got this giant advertisement. It's about 15 inches by 20 inches. And in the middle of it, there are two pictures. They're both about, I don't know, 5 by 7. And the pictures are two ribs on a piece of like parchment paper, and that's all in one picture. And the other picture, a tiny ball of coleslaw with nothing else in the picture. And under it, it says only $12. I thought that was hilarious. Anyway, got my pizza, and only played one machine, which was the first machine I saw when I walked in. I made $16 on it, and that was it. So so ends a terrible day. What can you do? I can't wait to get to another new all-time high. At least, you know, hopefully I'll get to a new all-time high quickly. I usually do. I think I probably shouldn't talk about it, but my longest was probably a couple hundred hours. I'd have to go back and double check, but it wasn't too long before an all-time high. So anyway, right now it is 50 degrees outside. It's dark, it's clear, the roads are dry, traffic is light, and I'm heading towards home. and I'll be back. Hey guys, Saturday morning now. Still on my way home just after midnight, and just continuing my trip. Everything is good. The roads are quiet and clear. I guess Saturday night at midnight, you're either in a place enjoying yourself or at home sleeping. So I think I'm one of the few people out here driving around. So I'm gonna head home, relax tonight, and tomorrow gonna take my son to this game. Gonna meet a fellow AP at the game. He's gonna be there as well, and then I'll probably go hang out with him tomorrow night for a little while and talk some business, and we'll go from there. Let's just not go too fast here. I got a lot of work to do for the office. I'll work on it tomorrow morning. I don't really feel like it tonight. And you know, one step at a time, we'll start chipping away. Maybe we'll do a countdown the next few episodes to a new all-time high. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com. mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.